Hello and welcome, or welcome back if you've been watching for a while, to my channel. This is Stitches with Love. My name is Elizabeth, and I am so excited to share with you a few things today. It's been a little while since I've posted anything, and so if you've been watching for a while and waiting for something new, I am sorry. Life is just lifing right now, and really there hasn't been a lot of um, progress or interesting news in my knitting life right now, but I've got a few things to share, a little bit to talk about. So if you're interested, come along with me. My cat is circling like a shark right now. Hi, Dorito. You might see him. He may make an appearance. Right now, he's down here. He had a flea treatment a few days ago, and I think he's forgiven me. Right now, he's just kind of wanting some loves and attention, I think. Um, Do you want to come say hi? Would you like to come say hi to your public? This is Dorito. Don't bite me. That's rude. Hey, hello. Hello. This is Dorito. He is 13 years old now. He's a good boy, and I'm really glad he's part of our family. We've almost lost him a few times, so that's always really scary, but very gratefully he's still here with us. All right. Now I have cat fuzzies all over me. What is it that you're wanting? You're going to drive me crazy this whole time. I'm going to actually put him out of my office. I'll be back in just a minute. Don't bite me. That's rude. All right, I'm back. I gave the cat some wet food, so hopefully that'll keep him happy for a little while. All right, so I don't really even know where to start. We are leaving in just a few days to go camping. We go every year for family camp with our former church family, and it's lots of friends and fun, and it's really a great time. So I, of course, am going to have my knitting with me, and I'm really not sure exactly what I'm going to bring with me. I guess I should talk about finished objects first, which I sort of have. So I've been working on this pair of socks. Initially, I was thinking I would make them for my oldest son, Michael, but the foot is just a little too small. And I think even after washing, blocking, and wearing, they're just going to be too snug. So Felix tried it on, and it's a perfect fit for him. So these are actually going to go to Felix. I'm really happy with how they turned out. I have not yet cast on the second one, but I love how the yarn just does this really cool self-striping pattern. Beautiful. If you're wondering, this yarn came from PNW Pearls, and it's on her Salish base, which is that sparkly sock yarn base. It's called Stars and Stripes Forever, and it's 75 superwash merino, 25 nylon, or 20 nylon and 5 stellina, which is that sparkle, I think. Is that right? Lurex, 5% Lurex. It's whatever this tag says. I love her yarns. She is not local to me, so she does dye the yarn to order, so it does take a while to get here, but well worth the wait. So eventually I will cast on the second one and get those finished for Felix. And then I am working on still the other one. This is still the first of this pair. And I'm thinking I'm going to give this pair to Michael. I'll just make them longer in the foot. And then they'll each have a pair of red, white, and blue socks. So I think I'm going to take this one with me and work on it. I'm definitely going to take my Musselburgh hat, slowly but surely making some really good progress. I decided that instead of making it all this one color, I'm going to wind this up to go with it. I think it'll look okay because then it will really truly be reversible. You can have either color on the outside and the opposite as a brim when it's folded up. So this will get wound up today and set aside in my bag. If you're curious about what I take with me when I go on my vacations, I love to take this bag specifically because it has so much space for small projects. So I'll have my Musselburgh hat, whatever sock I'm going to be working on, probably another sock too, honestly, or I might just take another knitting pouch altogether. Then I have two. Anyway, what's in my travel bag? I'm going to show you. So in this pocket here, I keep a small notebook and pencil to keep track of how many rows, inches, foot sizes, etc. for whatever I'm working on. I have, just in case I do forget or I'm doing a size I don't normally do, I have a little card here for the heel stitch counts and turns. So this one goes for small sizes and large sizes. And then I have the pattern for my Musselburgh hat right now. I also have a pattern for smaller sock sizes. So if I'm making them for children that are not done growing, it's easier to have a pattern because then I can have a better idea of stitch counts, length, etc. So copy of my pattern. And then on this side, I have all of the needles I'm going to need. So I have, for the Musselburgh hat, I have my double pointed needles. And then I have two different lengths, but the same size, of my circular needles for sock making. So I have one 40-inch US size 1 and one 32-inch. Generally, if I'm doing one sock at a time, I like the 32-inch. But if I have a crazy hankering to do two at a time, I'll use the 40. It's not as snug, moves around a little more easily. But they are in my most used size needle. So those live in here, at least for now while I'm traveling. And then in the main compartment, in here, I have the Lumos neck light. I just charged this morning, so I probably don't need to take the charger with me, but I'm going to take it anyway just in case, just to keep it together more than anything. Although I really don't think I'm going to run out of battery power. But I've got my neck light so that I can knit, in the tent or around the campfire or whatever, and I just don't have enough light. I have the most basic notions, which is really typically all I carry with me anyway when I'm knitting socks and things. But I've got some extra stitch markers, both the round and the safety pin variety. foldable scissors, a tape measure, chapstick, because when we're on vacation, I don't always have my purse with me. You know, we're out walking, hiking, we'll be down at the beach. I don't want to take my whole purse with me, but I use chapstick all the time. So I keep a chapstick in my knitting bag too. And then a couple of Band-Aids. These are for when I inevitably stab my fingers with my knitting needles, which sounds so embarrassing and ridiculous, but it happens all the time. And I don't want to bleed all over my knitting, and it's just annoying. So I will wrap up my finger, and it's not an issue. Eventually, I would really like to have one of those leather thimbles that you put over your finger, and I think that would help tremendously because when I knit, I hold the yarn and throw it, and my needles are just constantly going back and forth, and so it's really easy to just poke myself. It's also really painful. So that is in my bag currently. I'm going to put my hat back in there so that I remember to take it. I'll put my light in there. And then I need to figure out another project because I have a lot of socks that need finishing and not much desire to take them with me. I probably should just to get them done and out of the way. Let's see, I'll wind that up later. So I've got a few options. So I don't think I'm going to finish the Musselburgh hat this week, but if I do, I'm going to take some yarn. This is to make my youngest brother a hat, and he really likes the Seahawks. And so I bought this yarn specifically for that. So if I get another Musselburgh hat started this weekend, not super likely, but this is what I'm going to be using. So I think I'll put that in my backup knitting bag. And then my beautiful niece has a birthday coming up, and I was thinking I would use this to make some leg warmers for her. But I also really love this yarn, and she loves watermelon. So I thought I might do some leg warmers in this yarn, although I still love the idea of doing socks. So I'm not sure. This may or may not go with us. Yeah, no, you know what? I don't know. I'm not sure if I want to take this one with me or not. I might go ahead and wind it up just so I have it. And then I bought this to take along camping for socks, although this might make a really cool Musselburgh hat instead of socks. I don't know. This may or may not make the cut for my backup knitting bag. And I think that's it. So I think for sure at least one pair of socks and at least one hat. And then I'm thinking I'll bring extra yarn for another pair of socks or leg warmers and a hat. That should do me for a 3-day vacation, right? Like, I don't know. When we go traveling, I really don't have a lot of time to just sit around and knit because I'm off with my boys, we're doing something, or I'm cooking, or doing something. So I don't know that I'm actually going to get a ton of knitting done, but I would rather have too much than for some crazy reason run out and not have enough. Because traveling without my knitting is just not an option. That would be horrible. That really would be quite awful. I would much rather overpack my knitting. All right, I think that's it. I'm going to go figure out this mess. I have a few more days to get everything sorted and figured out before we have to leave. and I'll keep you posted. I am going to try to do at least one video while we're camping just because I think that would be kind of fun. But we'll see if that actually happens. I did it last year. I did a really short video, but I don't know if that's going to happen this year. So I'll keep you posted. Otherwise, whenever I see you, I will see you next time. In the meantime, happy knitting and God loves you very much. Blessings.